When we're dealing with strake quads, you'll notice these refinement tools up here. These are for changing strake elements to additional elements or splitting them. Here we split the strake. Here you split a quad into two quads. Now this is for operating on regular quads. These top four are specific to strakes. These operate on quads and tris, and there's some for beams as well down here. But you'll notice you have two different split two quads, and the reason for that is when you go to split a straight quad, you can't rotate a straight quad. So in this particular instance, that one is going to split this quad transversely. If I wanted to split it longitudinally, I'd have to use the other one. If I was dealing with a regular quad element, I could rotate it and split it in either direction using that same item. If I wanted to do that and that's for just a regular split. If I wanted to split, like to create that hole that we had in the sample model that we were trying to model, this opening here, an easy way to do that. Now I could create the additional nodes and convert the quads or split the quads and manually change them. But an easy way of doing that would be to split that strake. But here I can't rotate that one. I'm stuck in that orientation. And if I split it there, I'll have to rearrange all my quads and everything. So what we can do is convert that straight quad to a conventional quad. And now I can rotate and I can split it that way. And I'll go ahead and convert these other two quads. And then we can rotate to the right orientation here. Then we use the deletion dialog to get rid of those four in the middle. Have our opening. Now that hole may be a little bit too wide, so we can edit these points and move them in. Or, as we did with the nodal dialog earlier, we went to create those beams using the nodal dialog. Another thing you can do in the nodal dialog is grab these three nodes, and then there's an option to modify additional nodes. And this allows you to either include coincident nodes or just the selected nodes, but it lets you modify the X, Y, and Z values for these nodes as a group. Now, if I were to modify X, Y, and Z, they're all going to collapse to the same point, but I can click in this area and select one of those nodes so that it fills out the X, Y, and Z value of that node. So it's a quick way to measure exactly what the Z value is, the transverse value here. Transverse value is 0.375. I want to bring that in a little bit to like 0.36, and I'm only going to modify the Z value for these three nodes. And if I say OK, it pulls it in. Well, it did go in quite enough. I wanted that to come in further. I'll modify additional nodes again, and I will bring it into 0.3. Oops. I meant to hit delete before. Okay. Similarly, I can grab these three, modify additional nodes, and I'm going to see where that one is. It's at 0.125. I am going to push it out to 0.2. And we can leave the length the same, but you get the idea. So that can be very handy for aligning nodes if you had some that were staggered. In fact, I can go ahead and move this node out a little bit. We'll make that 0.17 very quickly. If I came in here in the nodal dialog and I just said align the additional nodes, it's going to put them all in a straight line from the first node to the last node. So anything, it's going to use the first one selected and the last one selected as the endpoints, and then project all the other nodes onto a straight line between them. So there are a number of handy features, and a lot of these things are buried in these context menus in different areas. Similarly, down in here, if you had listed a bunch of nodes and you right-click on them, you can, say, create a nodal group from them. So I would certainly encourage you to explore some of the different menus and the context menus when you right-click in different areas to see some of the additional capabilities.